You're okay. You got about 30 seconds. Madam Clerk, the time is now 7 p.m.
I'd like to call this regular Township Council meeting to order at 7 p.m. Roll call, Councilwoman Perone,
Present.
Councilman Anderson,
Present.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Present.
Mayor Whitfield.
Present.
Please rise for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to invite Reverend Charles from Life Fountain Bible Church to lead us in prayer.
Right to the microphone. Good evening, Reverend Charles.
A great and mighty God, we just come before you this night. We thank you for who you are. You are the God of all flesh. Unto you all men shall come. We gather here tonight before you humbly, thanking you for our city and everything that you have been doing for us. Lord, our Father, we stand for everyone who are here tonight, especially our leaders, starting from our mayors, the deputy mayor, our councilmen and ladies, and all the residents of Willingboro. Father, we know it is through you and by you that kings reign and rulers decree justice. There is nothing we can do without you. We ask that whatever be the deliberation tonight, guide your servants. These your children, Lord, under whom you have committed the great responsibility of leading this great community. Give them grace, give them wisdom, give them understanding. Let everything that will be done to your glory. Let the righteousness be the foundation and the fear of God be the fulcrum, that thing that pulled them together. To the end, O God, that this great community will enjoy the dividend of good governance. We will enjoy progress, prosperity, and we stand strong. That other communities around and people around will love to come to our community to live, to raise their children, because of these men and women that you have raised to lead us. We thank you and we give you praise as you continue to lead them, to lead us. To you we return every glory and honor tonight. This we ask through Jesus Christ our Lord, and we say amen.
Amen.
Thank you, the compliance statement for this evening, notice was provided in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 to the Burlington County Times, Trenton Times, and Philadelphia Inquirer, stating the date, time, place, and the agenda to the extent it was known. Additionally, notice was filed in the office of the Township Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Good evening, everyone. We are in March, our first meeting in March, which marks the beginning of Women's History Month. We have a majority of our council serving as strong women in this community, leading this community forward. And I'll ask Councilwoman McIntosh to read our proclamation.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Proclamation recognizing Women's History Month. Whereas throughout history, women have driven humanity forward on the path to a more equal and just society, contributing in limitless ways to our character and progress as a people. And whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background have made historic contributions to the growth and strength of our nation, and have played and continue to play a critical economic, cultural, and social role in every sphere of life of the nation by constituting a significant portion of the labor force working inside and outside of the home. And whereas American women have played a unique role throughout history of the nation by providing the majority of the volunteer labor force and were vitally important in the establishment of early charitable and cultural institutions in our nation. And whereas American women secure their own rights of suffrage and equal opportunity while serving as early leaders in the forefront of every major progressive social change movement, in which include, but are not limited to, the abolitionist movement, the emancipation movement, the industrial labor movement, the civil rights movements, and the peace movement, which create a more fair and just society for all. And whereas American women have served our country courageously in the armed forces and dared to transcend preconceived expectations and prove they are capable of doing all that a man could do and more. And whereas, despite these contributions, the role of American women in history has been consistently overlooked and undervalued in literature, teaching, and the study of American history. And whereas the 2025 theme for Women's History Month is Moving Forward Together, Women Educating and Inspiring Generations. This theme celebrates the collective strength and influence of women who have dedicated their lives to education, mentorship, and leadership. Through their effort, they have served as an inspiration for all generations, both past and present. And whereas the goals of this year's theme is to recognize the achievement of contributions of women, educators, mentors, and leaders, motivate all generations to pursue education and leadership roles, raise awareness about the unheralded legacies of women from every walk of life, highlighting their unique contributions and diverse backgrounds, bring together communities to explore, share, and celebrate women's history and achievement, and create a blueprint for the future that honors our foremothers and builds bridges for the next generation of women. And whereas during Women's History Month, we honor the countless women who have sacrificed and strived to ensure all people have an equal opportunity to pursue the American dream. Now, therefore, Samantha E. Whitfield, Mayor of the Township of Willingboro, along with the Township Council, hereby proclaim March as Women's History Month in 2025. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman McIntosh. And now we will go to our manager's report by Mr. Harris.
Good evening, members of the governing body, members of the Willingboro community. Just a note that our tax assessment revaluation report on the agenda will not happen tonight. That's scheduled for the 18th of March. However, we will receive an update from our engineer, Mr. Russell Chipola, on some of the engineering activities going on in the township.
Good evening.
Good evening,
Mayor,
Mr. Chipola.
Deputy Mayor, Councilwoman, Councilman, and congratulations on Women's History Month. I did not know that until just now. I'd like to start with the USA Track and Field Project, if I may. does everybody have a breakdown of the costs that I had, asked to hand out? Okay, good. On, I believe it
Mr.
was.
Chipola, if I can just stop you for a minute. Mr. Harris, I think the closed captioning is off on the Zoom, so if IT can make that adjustment.
Tony,
All
did
right.
you hear that? Or James?
Yes.
You can continue, Mr.
Okay,
Chipola.
can everybody hear me through the microphone?
Just speak loudly.
Okay. All right. On February 27th, we had our consultant, Alimo, come in and talk to several of us in this room, and they presented to us two options or two concept plans for the USA Track and Field. First, concept plan number one. We found, or they found, that there was insufficient space for all of the activities that would be required, such as bleachers, running track, full running track, warm-up track, football field, javelin, shot put, discus, pole vault, and long jump. While those track events were included in option one, the space for all of the items included were just not going to fit on the track or on the site. And I have some drawings here, but I don't think we need to look at that. So, what's that? Okay. Yeah, I think I'll just go through. Okay, concept
Quickly.
plan number one, and I'm just gonna go through here. I'll just do it myself here.
James, if you can put up number one on the screen.
My
Concept,
apologies, Mayor. I don't have those documents as of yet.
yeah, I didn't present
Yes.
them other than just now. If anybody can see this, all the track events or track, whatever they call them, track meets, events fit.
Mr. Chipola, if you can just give us a second, I think he might have them. James, did you get that document? Just so that you're not holding
Okay,
the
right.
paper up.
Yeah, that's
It's,
fine.
we can't see it from here anyway.
I'm just waiting for an email to come in. As soon as I get it, I'll post it.
I'll continue.
Okay, yeah, you
Concept-
can just talk. to them.
Concept number one, fits all the track events on the site. However, a lot of the track event features go into the parking lot. There's a significant amount of parking that will be lost, and also some of the grassed area on the site. So while we can fit all the activities on the site, we actually lose part of the site. And parking is at a premium as it is. So we lose a lot of the parking and we lose a lot of our grassed area. Concept plan number two is a reworking of concept plan number one, where everything fits within the confines of the site without losing any, there you go. That is concept number two.
Mhm.
Concept number two fits on the site without losing any parking and any other grassed areas. However, as you could see, the large oval on the left, the large oval is the main running track. And there was a synthetic turf field that would have been inside that oval on option one, but now that is now lost in favor of the javelin and other types of track events. So out of these two concepts, concept number two is the only concept where it's hard to see, but that concept takes into account modifications of the southern end of JFK Center, including renovations for lockers and showers, and a new addition that would be put on the southern half of the JFK Center, which would include a new addition for weight training and various recovery items for the athletes. This particular category is called Category 2. There are 5 categories for the USA Track and Field. I don't know what the terminology is, but they're rating Class 1 being the most significant or encompassing the most track events, and Class 5 is the least amount of track events, but it still meets the minimum requirements of the USATF. So the breakdown that you have includes the breakdowns of everything as far as the track-related items, and also, if I can get that, on the last of the, after the engineer's estimate, which is $44,900 total, there's a sheet after that. What's that?
44 million.
44 million, I'm sorry. Well, being realistic, being optimistic, yeah. 44,900,000, excuse me. There's a sheet after page 5 of 5 where you can see where they break down the what I call the building facilities. So that is a grand total of $32,630. So that for design and construction, that is. What the actual, I'm sorry, area is 32,630 square feet. 24,800,000 is the estimated construction cost, which they put back on page 5 of 5. Come up with a 44, well, we'll call it $45 million for the USATF Category 2 facility, and that includes all the track facilities except for the synthetic turf field, which is lost inside the large oval running track. So I'd like to bring up any questions at this point that council would have, I can answer maybe.
And just some additional information for council and the public. The thought behind going for the Category 2 facility was so that we could attract outside events to be revenue generating for the town. We have been saving for a number of years for the elevation and revamp of the track facility, but I think this was a little bit more than we anticipated with $44 million of renovations to meet the Class 2 criteria. We'd also lose the baseball diamond as well as the football field in the middle of the track, and those are big draws and very widely used in the community. So we did ask our engineers to go back to the drawing board and look at a lower class facility, so we may be able to draw some of those other events, but still maintain those key elements of the facility that we need to, and maybe not do all of the upgrades in the interior. We also would lose a significant portion up in the right hand corner, the crosshatch section of JFK for offices, coaches' offices, and other facilities for that, as well as the addition on the bottom end expansion to the gymnasium. So this will be a very significant project, I think more than we anticipated.
That's correct. And also, again, I can't emphasize parking is the big issue that we have. Right now, we have I believe it was a 5,200 capacity bleachers on the left side, and the parking that we have now wouldn't come close to, to accommodating all those people.
Right.
So that would be another factor. But like you said, Mayor, we're hoping to get some type of response that would be more palatable to council, so that we can come up with something that, could meet some of the minimum requirements and still, give the community something to be proud of.
Right.
So we're looking.
Thank you, Mr. Chabot.
Were there any other questions? you want me to go through any of those projects that I'm working on, or it's up to you? I have a brief
Uh,
list
Did anyone else have any questions on that?
on the track.
Comment?
Thank you. As the engineers are going back, redesigning, will you ask them to make sure, I think it's the will of the council to preserve a football field? So I know there are different options. I know that they said they would look at other accrediting bodies other than USATF.
Right.
But I think that, something that's really important to us is we want to still have the turf field. So whatever agencies they're gonna use, we would need to figure out what to do or where to place the football field, because that was initially what we were looking at was the turf field. Then we had money to be able to fix the track. And so we don't want to lose sight of the turf field through the process.
So that's a minimum.
Hmm.
Give
Yeah,
us
we
a-
have to have
Give
our,
us a nice football field.
Yes.
yeah. So initially it was, it was all about just wellness, and we had the turf field for football. We had the track where residents walk. We weren't doing meets and events out there, but we were looking at, if we're making the investment, then is there an opportunity to spend maybe a little more and have a greater return on investment? But we don't want to lose the essential amenities that we traditionally provide the residents along the way. So we still want to have a track for people to be able to walk on. We want a field that we could do football, field hockey, or whatever, whatever those sports may be out there.
I think if we reduce the site and get rid of some of the other, I should say, like, not as popular, like the javelin, the shot put, which take up a lot of area, I think you can probably accommodate, a lot of the features that you want in there and still have a very high-end facility,
Yeah.
and parking, we could probably accommodate much more parking with that, but we can use up some of the space that's used up with some of these field events, and add parking in there.
Right. So I guess it's a balance of, if we're able to do more and we can host events, I think that's great. But if not, then we just want a nice facility for residents and not lose what we already have.
Right. I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chipola. If you could send the other project updates via email, that
Oh,
would be
sure.
great.
I can do that.
All right.
Thanks, Council.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Chipola. Also, we are in a long-term project upgrading our lighting in Willingboro to LED. And I'm going to ask Mr. Laurie, our deputy manager, to come give a very brief update as to what has been done and where we are going in the very near future.
Good evening, Mr. Larry.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and the rest of the council, members of the public. So as we've talked about for the last couple years, last year or so, we're embarking on a township-wide lighting program. We started in Pennypacker Park first. To date, there has been 17 streets in Pennypacker that have been upgraded to LED lights. I just drove around before I came into this meeting tonight to make sure that they were done. Pennypacker is well lit on this side. This side over here. So from starting at Beverly Rancocas, from Pageant, beginning at Beverly Rancocas, all the way to Pageant to MLK, everything on the left-hand side has been upgraded to LED lights. I hope that is a better description than everything on this side. Moving to the other side, I just submitted an agreement with PSE&G yesterday to have 9 other streets upgraded. That will be phase 3 of our project in Pennypacker. Those streets include, I can run through them very quickly, Pine Tree Lane, Parkside Circle, Pennypacker Drive, a portion of Pennypacker Drive from MLK to, it looks like Parridge Turn, I'm sorry, Pinafore Lane, Parson Lane, Pastoral Lane, Poplar, Pickwick, excuse me, Pilgrim, and those are the 9 streets for phase 3. Additionally, we began another project to replace the lights on Veterans Parkway. That has multiple phases. Phase 1 has been complete. That is 132 Sheffield Drive. That was 21 streets included in the project. Those streets have all been completed. Those lights, excuse me, all 21 of those lights have been upgraded. They are moving forward with The next phase of that, which is Sheffield to Babbitt, I believe off the top of my head. PSCNG has to work with the county for those, for that project, just because, you know, county permits, it's a county road. Beyond that, we're gonna continue on with this project. We already finished the back parking lot here at the municipal complex. There are 3 lights out that I observed tonight. I did report those to our contact over at PSCNG so that those could be replaced. Beyond that, that's all I have to share for the LED lighting project. I'll take any questions if you have them.
Any questions? Mr. Lowry, I did have just one. As we're doing the LED lighting project, are they still repairing the lights that are non-functional throughout the township?
Yes, actually, DPW just did a streetlight survey with over the last week, surveying the lights that are out in the community. They came back with a substantial number of lights. Once those light numbers and fixtures are solidified, there were issues with the light numbers, the pole numbers. Once we have those solidified, we'll make sure that they're reported the way that they asked for it to be reported on their site first. And then we'll go back and reach out to our contacts and have those escalated so that they're repaired in a timely fashion.
Okay, great, thank you.
I do have one question. As it relates to the balusters in front of the Kennedy Center and going through the park. I know we had conversations some time ago that all the balusters would be lit up. What's the status of that?
Yeah, so that's a project that DPW is undertaking because those are our lights. So we'll have to work with the Public Works, public property, to see where they're, I don't have an update for you tonight.
Okay.
But we can get you an update.
Okay, thank you.
Yep,
Thank you, Mr. Lowry.
thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lowry. So I will continue on with my report at this time. Our finance department, the CFO and I are working to prepare the 2025 municipal budget for introduction. We are shooting for later in March, but no later than April the 1st. In conjunction with that, the annual financial statement has been forwarded to you for your review. And once again, I believe it reaffirms Willingboro's financial stability. In our police department, we are currently at 71 sworn officers, 5 of which are in the police academy. Again, 1 has been on active duty since February of 2022. The police are finalizing their installation of automatic license plate readers funded by a $70,000 grant. The installation should begin shortly as we are waiting approval from the county. The police, again, are also completing its reaccreditation program. This happens every 3 years, and it is unprecedented that Willingboro Police Department has been continuously accredited, a continually accredited department for 12 years. There are only 31 law enforcement agencies out of 507 in New Jersey that have received the NJSACOP accreditation. And that stands for New Jersey something Chiefs of Police Association, or New Jersey State Association of Chiefs of Police. That's what it is. Did I get it right? In 2022, Public Law 22, Chapter 65 was signed into law, which established police licensing systems in the state of New Jersey. This law requires a licensing process with uniform standards and criteria for hiring, firing, and disciplining officers. Some of these standards include passing physical examinations, maintaining post-academy ongoing professional training, established by the PTC or the Police Training Commission, and forbidding certain kind of contacts within the police department. Willingboro is in the process of relicensing 20 of its officers for 2025, and those licenses will be valid for the next 3 years. And I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chief Bucks, that we are responsible for paying the initial $500 licensing fee, but after that, there are no charges for relicensing. Thank you. All the officers in the police department will begin their CPR certifications, and the police are finalizing their transition to the new handguns that were funded through the 2024 capital budget and purchasing and implementation should be finalized in the next 2 or 3 weeks. In our fire and EMS departments, we have 2 volunteers, George Everett and Alicia Rivera, who have completed or enrolled in the spring 2025 firefighter course, which they will be completing in June. These 2 individuals were participants in the previous Youth Fire Academy and have gone on to join the department. All of our fire and EMS personnel who needed to renew their CPR AED certification completed those renewal last week. All of our ambulances are back in service. And just a note, engine number 1613 has been having some service issues with the tank pump failing to go into pump mode during fire incidents. This particular unit is over 20 years old, and we're going to need to consider making provisions to replace it over the next few capital budgets. In our Department of Public Works, DPW has installed motion-sensitive cameras at some of our fields and parks to catch vandals and other persons that are engaged in illicit activities. DPW has completed, like Mr. Laurie said, the survey of lighting in the community. They also have been out collecting trash, cleaning up our streets. Since we last reported, they collected 18 bags of trash from our streets and are routinely emptying all of our newly installed recycling and trash containers along various streets in Willingboro Township and our parks as well. Because of the increased concern over the bird flu, we are looking into mechanisms to curb the large number of geese that we see gathering at the JFK and Mill Creek parks. I will remind residents to be mindful of those droppings as the first case of bird flu has been identified in Burlington County. And also DPW has been out. They have repaired 41 potholes in the few days that we had acceptable weather. We know there are many more that need to be repaired. However, the hot patch is really most effective in 40-degree weather or above. So that's what we are really striving for, those consistent 40-degree days. In our inspections department, all UCC clerks in the inspections department are all technical assistant certified and licensed. And I want to thank Mr. Tunstall for raising the standard for the clerks in his department. It increases their ability to understand, interpret, and apply the rules and regulations from an array of applicable codes and standards, including UCC laws, construction code, electrical, plumbing, and fire codes, as well as increasing familiarity with many forms and formats required by the state of New Jersey to ensure compliance with the construction and related codes by the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs. So kudos to you, Mr. Tunstall, and the members of your department for taking on this additional education and certifications. As far as our buildings and facilities, DPW will proceed with installing the water softeners for the boilers at JFK. We did receive a second quote from Falaska Mechanical, which is about $2,000 less than what Hutchinson had quoted. So we are waiting to schedule the final installations. And again, at the suggestion of our engineer, we have reevaluated the previous quote to provide fixes to the roof leaks over the gym at the JFK Center. The reassessment reflected that the original quote to repair 1,000 square feet was insufficient to address all of the leaks, and although they would have addressed some of the primary leak issues, we are looking to expand the coverage area for repairs from 1,000 feet to 5,000 feet, and it will probably be required to go out to bid, because that would be about an additional $20,000 in expenses, or $30,000 in expenses, unless we provide, or unless one of the providers is under state or national co-op contracts. In our Department of Community Affairs will be providing tax preparation services for Willingboro residents who may need assistance with their 2024 taxes. The service is offered in partnership with AARP, and if any residents wish to take advantage of it, and it's only being provided on Wednesdays by appointment, I encourage you to please call the Senior Center as soon as possible to make appointments as they are receiving hundreds of requests and the time slots are filling up relatively quickly. At this time, I'm going to ask Ms. Jackson if she will come and give us a summation of the activities going on in Willingboro, if any, over the next few weeks. Ms. Jackson?
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, members of council, and all those assembled. In the spirit of Women's History Month, on Saturday, March 8th, the Willingboro Public Library will be hosting a special presentation entitled Willingboro Women in Action, and that's featuring two of our township leaders, Mayor Whitfield and Deputy Mayor Worthy. So please plan to join us on Saturday at 2 p.m. for this special event and invite others to join us. It is a free event, but registration is requested. We're also accepting nominations for this year's Phenomenal Woman Awards event, which will take place on Sunday, April 27th. If you know of a woman who is making an impact in the areas of education, business and entrepreneurship, government, or social advocacy, consider nominating her for this year's Phenomenal Women Awards event. The deadline for nominations is next Friday, March 12th. And speaking of Friday, March 14th, I'm sorry. Right, is it the 14th? 12th, a Wednesday, March 12th. Okay, I'm sorry. The deadline for nominations is Wednesday, March 12th. And then on Friday, March 14th at noon, we will the Willingboro Town Center will be hosting an official ribbon cutting ceremony for our new neighbors at Starbucks, or welcome our renewed neighbors at Starbucks. So all are encouraged to attend the ribbon cutting or stop by Starbucks for a cup of joe or a bite to eat and join us in welcoming Starbucks back to the community. And then on the following day, which is Saturday, March 15th, we will be serving as the host for the Black Family Wellness Expo. We're one of many partners that will be a part of this event, and it will be held from 12 to 3 at the Kennedy Center. And it'll be a day including great health information, wellness resources, some screenings, and other great interactive activities. So that is our activities for March. As always, this information is on our website, social media, YouTube, and by subscribing to Willingboro Weekly. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Can you repeat the time for the grand opening for the Starbucks?
It's at 12 o'clock next Friday, March 14th.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson.
And that concludes my report for this evening, Mayor.
All right. Any questions on the manager's report? Comments?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mr. Harris, I didn't hear you go through it, but I know we did get the zoning report, which I appreciate with the new businesses and requests for interpretation, and was wondering if the future iterations could put the timeline so we have an idea of when it was generated, like what timeline does that cover? I know it says new businesses, but there are businesses that are new that aren't there. So if we could just continue to work on, I think, the format of it.
Yes.
But I do appreciate having that information. So thank you for sharing that.
And my apologies, I did have them send it to you in email, but I did not receive it in time to incorporate it for my report this evening. But I didn't want you to wait 2 weeks to have the information.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
No problem. Any other questions or comments?
I just have one. As a follow-up from our last meeting, did we start working on the ordinance, for, code enforcement in terms of the garbage cans? We did have Mr. Johnson.
Yes, we have been having discussions
Okay.
behind that.
Okay,
We have
perfect.
some issues that we're going to have to work out,
Mhm.
and it's going to take some considerations and concessions from the council. So when we get all of those little glitches, and then we'll bring something to you to approve or not approve.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor, or ex-mayor, former mayor.
All right, well, thank you, Mr. Harris, for your report. We will go on to the resolutions overview.
So the resolutions, there are no ordinances being presented to you this evening. The resolutions being presented to you is a resolution number 65, which is a resolution authorizing the approval of bills for the month of, or for the first meeting in the month of March, so we can meet our financial obligations for services provided from various vendors or professionals in Willingboro. Resolution number 66 is a resolution providing the appointment of an Oprah attorney. We are looking to reappoint Florio Perucci, Stanback, Capelli, and Tipton LLC as the township's Oprah attorneys for the rest of the calendar year 2025. Resolution number 67 is a resolution authorizing the overpayment of taxes. These are usually occur when a homeowner or mortgage or company or a title company, sometimes a buyer or seller receive credits on their account, or sometimes they make duplicate tax payments. So again, or receive disability credits. So we are just refunding to the rightful persons those monies if they are requested. Resolution number 68 is authorizing, I'm sorry, we're not going to address resolution number 68 this evening. So we're going to ask that that one just be put off or reconsidered at another time. Resolution number 69 is a resolution authorizing change order number 13 for the contract with Levy Construction Company for the Willingboro Performing Arts Center Phase 1 renovation. This resolution is recommending the approval of a change order to Levy Construction for additional work to return to the site to remeasure and redesign ductwork shop drawings per the ductwork design. There was some modifications to the initial design, which required the contractor to come out and remeasure the ductwork, and they charged us an additional $3,171 to do that remeasurement. Resolution number 70 is a resolution of the Township of Willingboro authorizing execution of professional service agreements for the not-to-exceed amounts as determined. This resolution is authorizing or establishing not-to-exceed amounts for professionals appointed to various services throughout the year of 2025. And these are the amounts that we expect to spend on our pay our professionals, and that's why we are setting these not-to-exceed amounts. Resolution number 71 is a resolution authorizing an increase in the not-to-exceed amount for Matthew, is it Waletzko? Waletzko from Zeller and Waletzko LLP for the provision of Zoning Board of Adjustment Solicitor Services for Willingboro. We are asking for an additional $10,000 as requested by the Township Clerk's Office to finalize and pay out all of the 2024 unpaid bills and invoices. Resolution number 72 is a resolution of the township authorizing a contract with certain approved Burlington County Cooperative Pricing System vendors for the contract year 2025. This particular contract is for the purchase of salt for DPW to replenish what we have used so far this year and increase our reserves for hopefully next year, because we're done with the weather, right?
I hope
I
so.
hope so. So that not to exceed amount is $43,000. Resolution number 73 is asking you to accept the tax collector's annual report. The tax collector is required by law to provide a report to the governing body of the activities in the tax collector's offices. And as you can see, the report includes collections, balances, tax levies. And I did ask her to go back and modify this report to include all open municipal liens that are struck or being held by Willingboro Township. So you have that information as well, so you can move forward with your planning as we move through 2025 to address these outstanding lien balances. And finally, being presented for your consideration is resolution number 74, appointing certain individuals to boards and commissions per the request of the mayor. And those are all the items being presented to you for your consideration this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. Council, are there any resolutions that you would like to pull from our consent agenda? I'm looking at resolution 2025-68 to pull, as well as 73 and 74.
Madam Mayor, it was my understanding that 68 was pulled from the agenda for this evening. Can we just clarify that for the record?
It's pulled. I think we need to table it because it's on the agenda. Or can we just strike it? Table it.
Okay, thank you.
Any other resolutions? Okay. All right, now we will go to public comment. Public comment is for 2 minutes on agenda items only. If you'd like to speak, please raise your hand online or come up to the microphone in the room. You will have 2 minutes. Please state your name and address. Public comment is now open. James, is there any public comment online?
Mayor, I do not see any public comments online.
Thank you.
We have one, Ms. Carmen.
Okay. You can take that one.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, it's Carmen, Carmen Guerin, 7 Country Club Road in Willingboro. And is the building of this, the sports facilities on the agenda for today? Just wanted to confirm.
Yes, we did review it, but it's not on the agenda as
We don't want that building.
about the one that we
public-
in
So it's not
the
for. Oh, okay.
Can you read my comments from the YouTube? Because it looks like I'm the only person who commented.
we don't take comments from the YouTube, but if you'd like to voice your comment.
Certainly. So I said that whole thing about messing up the area over here by Country Club is not a good idea. Don't know whose idea that was. There's other places that are much better, that are in space, that has a track and stuff that you guys can rebuild down by the high school. There's
Sir, can we
also
have your
a
name and
track
address?
over by JFK.
Name and address.
My name is Al Neil McLeod, and I'm in Country Club.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, none of my neighbors, I don't know if they're on here as well, if they're in a comment, but none of us are interested in having a parking lot, like messing up the area. You guys need to plant more trees. All of the trees that have been down.
Sir, I think
It's-
the track facility you're talking about is the one for the school board. It's not the one that we discussed at this meeting.
We heard something.
The one we saw earlier, it's like some planning, it looks like.
We saw a map.
That was at the
and-
JFK Center.
Okay, I'm sorry, that's why I was confused. We were asking about the build that is planned for around Country Club by the Board of Education building.
Yep, that's it.
Yes, that one has a town hall tomorrow. But if you would like to voice your concern, you can come back at the second public comment.
Okay, well, if we can, okay, and then the trees are apparently not part of the agenda, although we have voiced our concern about the trees being planted where the soil quality is being affected by all the trees being removed.
Yes, ma'am, that
Water
was at the second public comment.
Okay, so that's tomorrow?
No, it will be at the second public comment at this meeting.
Oh, okay, all right, I'll wait for that then.
Comment is for agenda items only.
Okay,
Thank you. All right. And seeing none other, public comment is now closed. All right, council, I'd like to ask for a motion for a consent agenda for resolutions 2025-65 through 2025-67 and 2025-69 through 2025-72.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Perone, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Roll call?
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you.
Resolution 2025-68. I move to table Resolution 2025-68. Second. Moved by Mayor Whitfield, seconded by Councilwoman Perone. Roll call?
Would you like me to read it by title for the record?
Oh, yes.
All right, so resolution 2025-68 is titled Resolution Authorizing a Redemption in Installments for Municipal Lien 16-00301. And we are motioning to table it.
Yes.
And roll call, Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you. The next resolution for discussion is Resolution 2025-73, resolution accepting the tax collector's annual report. Can I get a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh. Discussion? Mr. Harris, I was wondering if our tax collector would be able to give an overview of the report? Good evening, Ms. Arnold.
Good evening. You want an overview? It's basically just, everything that was collected from the tax office throughout the year. It's all, like the credit cards and the checks and everything that was collected online, a breakdown of, the, cause we collect for school, county, and, okay. Are there any numbers in particular that?
If you could talk about like our collection rate and
The rate, basically comes from the county. We do an estimated tax rate before this rate is struck off. And it's usually like around about the same amount. It might be like a little bit less or a little bit more. The rate for, 2024 was actually like a little bit, less than the actual rate that we've received. So when the tax rate finally struck, they had to pay a little bit more in that fourth quarter. But that's basically the tax rate.
and what percentage are we collecting taxes at?
Um,
Just like the overall collection rate,
right,
the percentage of
for,
people that are
for
paying.
2024 was 96.99.
And that was up from the past few years, correct?
Yes.
All right. Any other questions on the tax assessor's report? Or the tax collector's report?
Just a quick question. So what happens when taxes are not being paid? And then everything backs up and then it comes to the attention of council years later? Who makes that decision to allow those taxes not to be collected?
Basically, we don't really have control over people that, don't want to pay their taxes. The only thing that we can do is have a tax. So they do go to tax sale on a yearly. If they don't pay, like, for example, if anybody hasn't paid their 2024 taxes by October of this year, basically by September of this year, they go to tax sale in October.
Right.
So,
But there have been some properties that have not gone to tax sale, that we just seem to hold on to these liens.
The only people that don't go to tax sale are, people that are in bankruptcy. So if they have a bankruptcy against their property, they can't go to tax sale. Anybody else goes to tax sale.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
You're welcome.
And also I want to thank you, Ms. Arnold, for the liens, the list of open liens. I think that will help us in our efforts to increase the economic development in town. So thank you for that.
Yes, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Ms. Arnold, I had a question about the liens that were struck off to the township.
Okay.
And I see some of them have, it'll be the same property with multiple certificates. Can you elaborate on that?
Some of them had multiple certificates?
Yes,
Oh,
so.
yes,
Oh,
yes. If an outside lien holder isn't doing what they're supposed to do, like they have a certain time frame to foreclose. If they don't foreclose, another lien holder can come in. So they can take over anything that other lien holder hasn't did. So they're supposed to foreclose within the 5 years. If they don't, then sometimes municipal liens even get struck on there after the other lien holders haven't, foreclosed. So then we'll have a lien against the property as well.
Okay, so for instance, on one of the properties, okay, certificate number 19 dash 4 zeros and then 2,
Mhm.
and then there's 119 4 zeros and then 3. It's the same property, 2 certificates. So Willenboro has, the municipality has, that's what I'm talking about. Can you explain that? I'm just unclear.
Okay, so with this right here is, these are like, right, the municipal liens
Mm-hmm.
that, Bolingboro hasn't foreclosed on. So I guess at that time, they didn't have any interest in this property. So whenever they have like an interest in the property, that's when they'll foreclose on the certificate. Like you can have an in-rem foreclosure.
Okay.
I believe you have one in place now, but I don't think these were on there. I'm not sure. I would have to look back to see if these, particular certificates were on that list.
Okay.
I don't believe so. So I think it was, it's 3 properties, but I'm not sure what actual certificates they were.
Okay, I just thought that if it was one property, it would be one, like a singular municipal lien on a property, but it appears that there are multiple municipal liens on a single property.
For this particular property, they have, a qualifier. So that's a different, like it's one owner. That's, like, you know where Country Club Plaza is?
Mhm.
Like Dunkin' Donuts has a qualifier.
Oh, I understand.
Um,
Okay, different suites, different. Okay.
Right, so this is, it's the same address, but they have,
Different units, different owners.
Right.
Okay, understood. Thank you so much, Ms. Arnold.
You're welcome.
And also, Dr. Worthy, if I may, just because a property goes to tax sale and we require a lien through a tax sale, that does not absolve them from paying future taxes.
Okay.
And they could essentially go back out to tax sale a second time for subsequent unpaid taxes. So it could result in multiple liens on the same property.
Thank you. Okay.
All right. Any other questions for Ms. Arnold? Thank you, Ms. Arnold, for your report.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you. And our final resolution for discussion this evening is 2025-74, resolution of the Township of Willingboro, County of Burlington, State of New Jersey, appointing members to various boards and commissions.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Perone, seconded by Councilman Anderson. Discussion? We had 2 residents that had put in applications. Dr. Denise King for the Economic Development Committee as a business position, as well as Christine Fala for a youth advisory resident position and the Parade and Events Committee as a resident position. Are there any objections to those appointments? All right.
Just for the record, we just got, Dr. King's citizen leadership form today, so she's not on the resolution, so I will put her on the resolution.
Okay.
So with that being said, we already motioned and seconded, roll call, Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy.
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you.
Treasurer's report?
Oh, Madam Mayor,
Yeah.
before we move on, I still had a question. It wasn't about the appointments,
Okay.
but with the boards and commissions. What is the process when we have board members who miss consecutive meetings? Is there something that we have that we can share with the committees? So if it's 3 consecutive meetings, they get removed. After the second one, can they be notified? Is there a process we could put in place?
I can actually help with
Councilwoman
that
Perone?
question. It's actually one of our codes. It is under, I don't have the number currently. I can email it to you tomorrow, but it's our code that defines our boards and commissions, rules and regulations, and it says that they're not, you can't have more than 3 consecutive missing.
Correct, yeah. I guess what I'm asking is, can we make sure we can provide that to the chairpersons of these boards?
Okay.
And what happens is, once they get 2 consecutive absences, will it be the responsibility of the chairman to send them notification, or would the notification come from the clerk's office, the township clerk? So that's, once we figure that out, but that was a question that came up in my meeting last night.
Thank you, Councilman Anderson.
Thank you.
And now we'll move on to the treasurer's report.
Can I get a motion? Sorry. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the treasurer's report dated February 24th, 2025?
So move.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh. Roll call?
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the meeting minutes and executive session minutes from February 18th, 2025?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you.
Municipal clerk updates. Madam
Alright.
Clerk?
So for my updates this evening, I wanted to bring to everyone's attention that the Board of Education special election is a week from today, March 11th, 2025, from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. at all of our polling locations. So you don't have to change your polling location depending on your district. They're all open. You're just going to go to your regular one. If you don't know or if you are unsure about your polling location or your voting district, let me know and we will be able to help you out. There is one more town hall meeting being held by the Board of Education at the Willingboro High School tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. to get any last minute questions you have answered regarding the referendum being presented on the ballot. And then also for the primary election in June, I have some updates on that. The deadline for filing a petition to run for local office, like I mentioned last time, is March 24th, 2025 at 4 p.m. There were new state requirements regarding signature minimums, along with a new petition that was released by the county. So if anyone's interested, I have hard copies that were sent by the county just a couple weeks ago. Those are the most updated ones in my office that I can get to anyone. Some other important dates that I'm sure I will ingrain into your brains over the next couple months. Primary election is June 10th, 2025 from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., not June 3rd. It was June 3rd, and then the governor switched it to observe a Jewish holiday, so it is June 10th officially. Voter registration deadline for primary election is May 20th, 2025. The deadline to apply for the vote by mail and ballot by mail is June 3rd, but you can apply in person for a vote by mail and ballot all the way up to June 9th. Early voting will be June 6th through June 8th, and I'm still working with the county to confirm if we're we will be utilizing the library again, but I will definitely keep you updated on that. And of course, I'm going to be communicating with our communications to make sure all the information is on the website and posted on social media in the next couple months. And again, I will be saying these dates every single time, so they will be ingrained into your brain. Moving on, I wanted to give the council a little update on a digitization project that the clerk's office is working on at the moment. So we are at the starting point to, bring the contractor in. So the clerk's office is going to undergo an extensive digitization project in the next couple months that will be ongoing for the next several years. We will be starting with a locally stored file in the clerk's office and slowly migrate over to the archived files in the library. There are a lot of them. In the library basement specifically. I know council's been advocating for this for the past couple years, so I'm excited to start this project. Due to its extensive scope of work and the price that has been quoted, it will be over 5 years. The price we're looking at right now is $177,992. However, I've been actively applying to a grant through FEMA called the BRIC grant. BRIC stands for Building Resilience Infrastructure and Communities. The goal of this grant is to help local governments and communities digitize different types of records that have the potential of being damaged in an environment that they are currently being stored in. I'm applying for this grant to digitize the 2 huge cages of planning and zoning board records we have down at the library basement. That was over half of our quote of the digitization. It's just it's zoning and planning board applications, so they're big plans. They're permanent records, so we have to hold on to them forever. So this is a way to do that. There is a precedent to receive this grant for planning and zoning board documents. Oceanport, I'm sorry, actually just received this for planning and zoning documents. And if we are awarded this grant, it will take our project from 177,000, like I stated, to 70,000, which will ease some of our financial burdens, and also will hopefully get the projects done sooner. The thought of the process of digitizing both present and past records is to help not only the clerk's office, but the rest of the township and its residents to make these records more accessible to everyone. So that's a little on that. And then finally, we have finished our second round interviews for a deputy clerk. We have one candidate in mind that I think will fit well into our office, and she seems like she'll really help implement a lot of the initiatives we've started in the office in the last couple months. I'm hoping to appoint her at our next meeting and have her start sometime in late March. And that is my updates for today.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Are there any questions or comments? Mr.
So,
Harris?
Mayor, if I may, if that is a project going to be undertaken by the clerk's office, and I congratulate you on taking on that massive project over the next 5 years, that would need to be, whatever the dollar amount is, would need to be included in our operating budget. So please give me whatever dollars that you think we're going to spend in 2025 to Ms. Eusebia, so she can make sure the monies are available in your budget for that operation.
Thank you. I do have the first year already integrated into the budget that I sent
Okay,
her.
thank you.
Just one.
Councilwoman Perrone?
Thank you. One question for clarity. With regards to the 100K figure, is that split up into 5 years? Is that a total?
Yeah,
Okay.
so it will be around 30,000 for the first 2 years and then 40,000 for the last 3 years. And that's kind of how we broke it up. But yes, it's 177 altogether, not each year.
Okay, and then once it's completed in the 5 years, it still will be a fee for every year at 30,000 or 40,000? Is that?
There is an annual fee, I believe off the top of my head, it's like $500 a year, and that's just to maintain our digital cloud-based filing system, but it won't be anywhere near significant as that $40,000 fee. That is really just
The
to
daunting
take
task.
all of our archived files and get them
Digitized.
digitized.
And then one other question, so is this gonna be like a special program that we're using that where you can access it? Like, will there be some office training for the council or for the staff?
Yes, so there is going to be office training once we have the initial files digitized. They're gonna come in and they're gonna do a Zoom training with us, and it's actually set up for all of council to have their own logins, so you will have access to all of the files just as much as we will. So, but yes, there will be training to learn all of those
Awesome.
goodies.
Good work. Thank you.
Councilwoman McIntosh?
Yes.
There's some concerns being raised by residents concerning solicitors and vendors knocking on the doors. Is it possible that, during the council meetings, we can get an update on who's been approved?
Like for solicitor permits?
And vendor permits, because
Yes.
I'm getting a lot of complaints that people are showing up at people's doors without presenting these licenses.
Sure.
And so if, at least council's aware of who's coming or who's been approved.
Yes, I do put it in our monthly,
Mhm.
my monthly report to you guys, but yes, I can, definitely put something in my clerk
Okay.
report to present.
You just want to know who's authorized to operate within the township. I appreciate that.
And Mr. Harris, what is the procedure, or what will be the best procedure for a resident to take if someone shows up at their door and doesn't have a license?
Call the police.
Call the police.
Andrew Graham.
Good, thank you. All right. Any other questions or comments on the clerk's report? All right, moving along to unfinished business. As we discussed last time, we are scheduled to have a golf outing in May of this year. I believe Councilman Anderson, you are giving the report for that update?
Yes. So we have, back in, I guess, November, the township has authorized an MOA to partner with Nunu Foundation because the township could not take in funds. The partnership is with the 501c3, and it's on a year-by-year basis, so it's not permanent. It's for this initial event. The purpose of this golf event is to raise scholarship dollars for the children, for the seniors of Willingboro. They don't just have to go to the Willingboro School District. They can go out of district as long as they're a resident. So we were just looking for a way to give back, bring some more activities to the community. The school district did one, I believe last year was their initial, and it was a good thought. So we looked at taking on the endeavor on trying to replicate that just to provide more resources for those kids, who were trying to go to the next level. So right now, the scheduled date is Thursday, May 29th. And then there's a rain date of Thursday, June 5th. In case it's raining too hard, they have allotted us an opportunity to do it the following week. The location will be at the Beverly Rancocas Golf Course. The event will host 144 golfers at $125 per person, which will generate $18,000 towards the event. There will also be activities for non-golfers, which would include golf lessons at a cost of $65 per person. That will also include a continental breakfast, boxed lunch, dinner, and entertainment. On the marketing side, what has been done thus far through the committee that Nunu has put together is the marketing for this event has already begun. Information has been sent out to Nunu Foundation's golf database of members. Beverly Rancocas Golf Course has shared this information with their database of members, which also includes 2 other golf courses that they own, Golden Pheasant and The Link. It's also been shared with the Divine Nine organizations, local businesses, and township professionals. This event will also be promoted on 105.3 FM. Under the entertainment side, we are currently under contract with Miss Mimi Brown. She's one of the hosts of 105.3. She's going to come out to host the whole event. give us some airtime, marketing the event for us. We will also have a DJ that will play music at the venue as well. Food vendors, we're in the process of reviewing our food vendor proposals, getting some final questions answered. Scholarship applications, scholarship application outlining the criteria has been completed and is ready to be distributed so that the students, have more than enough time to apply. The committee will go through the criteria as the applications come in, just to identify which students, will be, which students qualify for the scholarship dollars. Sponsorships. We've been working with a young lady. She's actually the committee chair, Miss Janice Peppers. She's been in the entertainment business for some time and has a plethora of relationships. So through her contacts, personal contacts and relationships, we reached out to Red Bull. She's spoken to her contacts at Red Bull, Bank of America, TD Bank, Razak Hair Products, Diageo, which is one of the largest liquor companies in the world, Fenway, which is a wine company, and Kramer Distributors is a huge beer company. They distribute internationally, as well as Always Best Core, Coca-Cola, David Lerner and Associates, Davis Honda, Verizon Wireless, Metro PCS, WISPIS, Virtua Hospital, New Jersey Lottery, Internet Radio, State Farm, Johnson Ford, Roots Distributor, Cureleaf, Rand Spear Accident Attorney, Zenleaf, Acme, Burlington Kia, Burlington Chevy, Word Radio, Lowe's, and PSE&G. Commitments have already come back, confirming that they're in from TD Bank, PSE&G, Virtua, Pepsi, Roots Distribution, Diageo, and Kramer. So we had the opportunity to have a meeting with the township, with the beer vendor, with the wine vendor, and the liquor distributor. So during the course of the meeting, they were all very much interested, not just in the golf tournament, but the golf tournament was a way for them to get to the Jazz Fest. Because what we understand, and we're trying to think outside the box, for many years, we've been putting money into this Jazz Fest, but have not been getting anything out. But now we're looking at restructuring. So they were very much interested, we're to the point where they're looking at a commitment of $50,000 for the Jazz Fest. The golf course has just received their liquor license as of last week. And so they're looking at possibly being a title sponsor for that event. But once again, we're trying to make ways to think outside the box to generate money. And like I said, the way we're pitching this to a lot of these sponsors, we know you want to get to that Jazz Fest because that's a huge venue of people, but we want to see the community give back. It's not always about the money. Participate at the community level, then work with us to get to the next level. So that's how we have been promoting this. So far, funds received from McManaman, Scotland, and Bowman of $1625. Then also we received a check from Bowman and Company for $1,000 for a total of $2625. Funds have been distributed to Mimi Brown, a deposit of $1,250, which is half of what her cost is. Her cost is $2,500. She needed $1,250 to put it on her calendar as of March 1st, so we've taken care of that. There is there's an administration fee of 10%, which was $262.50, which leaves a balance of $1,112.50. Right now, the anticipated golf fees would be the golf course green fees, which go to the golf course. That's $7,200. So out of the $125 we're charging per golfer, they get $50 of that. So the profit would be $75. Mimi Brown was $25. The DJ is $650 for all day. The food vendor is wouldn't be no more than $6,000. Right now, it's I think 55, 57 within that range. And then I put down here miscellaneous $36.50, just to round it off to 20,000. In case there are extra things that we need to get that we haven't accounted for, as we're still in the process of laying everything out. Volunteers, the committee will solicit volunteers to handle setup and cleanup of the event. And not even a challenge, but one of the questions that came up was regarding seed money. If there was an opportunity to receive seed money, is there an opportunity to receive seed money if needed? These funds would be paid back prior to any distribution of scholarship funds. But as it sits right now with the food vendor, the DJ, they're looking to be paid the day of the event. So we really don't have anything to put out. And that's the same relationship we're working out with the golf course for their fees. So that's the updated report as of now. I believe moving forward, we will be getting, I believe, weekly financial reports as the money start to come in. As far as the golf registrations, golfers, right now it's still early in the season. Golfers usually wait until possibly April, the beginning of May, then they start jumping on board. But we have solicited to more than enough golf courses and opportunities that filling the 144 spots won't be an issue, nor will it be the $10,000 identified to giving out the scholarship. So that's the update to this point.
Thank you, Councilman Anderson. Any questions or comments on the golf outing report? Deputy Mayor Worthy?
Thank you. Councilman Anderson, I was wondering in terms of when the financials would come in. I know that commitments were made, some verbal, some correspondence has been exchanged. Have any of the sponsors been able to share a timeline of when they think they'll be able to distribute the funds?
Bank, PSNG, Virtual Hospital, Pepsi, Roots Distribution, Diageo, and Kramer would be looking to have their money in within the next 3 weeks. But
Okay.
they've committed to it. It just has to go through the process of getting the checks.
Okay, thank you. And then I think I just wanted to confirm, you said for the food, they don't need a deposit. They're willing
No.
to take the money the day of?
The day of, I believe, no, I'm sorry. One of the vendors that they'll do it the day of, the other one.
Wanted a deposit.
Deposit like May 15th, so 2 weeks out.
Okay,
This way they have the proper head count. But right now, I think we're playing with 150 to 200 people, but they said it's close to give us a proper head count. And then 2 weeks out, they would request it.
okay. So based on the conversations with the sponsors and when the vendors want the money, do you anticipate the golf event being able to cover all of its expenses?
Yeah, we anticipate that, but we also wanted to know if we needed to. I mean, at this point, it doesn't look like it, but we wanted to know what the process would be for seed money. And as I indicated in the report, those seed dollars would be paid back prior to the distribution of any scholarship dollars. But right now, we look like we're good, but we just want to know what the process is, what the time frame would be.
Okay,
As we move this forward.
thank you very much.
All right, and Mr. Harris, do you have any insight on what that process would be for requesting seed money?
A deeper conversation with the CFO. And when you say seed money, what do you mean by seed money? Just giving an amount to the Nunu Foundation? Are you talking about maybe covering the deposit for the caterer? So we would just need some clarity as to what that seed money encompasses, and then that will further dictate how we would go about issuing those seed money.
Okay.
Yeah, so to that point, I mean, if it's a situation and the township is willing to write to that vendor, that's fine. We're just, seeing if there's availability and where the resources are based on us not passing the budget for this year. So we just wanted to put it out there, but right now we do not anticipate it would be in a case of emergency situation. We just want to line it up as a backup.
All right. Thank you, Councilman Anderson. Any other questions on that? No? Moving on to new business. Is there any new business? I had one item of new business. So we are getting more reports and questions, concern from residents about the group homes that are located in Country Club, the overabundance of group homes that are located in Country Club. We did previously investigate if there were ways that we would be able to limit the number of group homes that were present in the township. At that time, there was no way that we would be able to do that. But at the League of Municipalities, I did speak to Mr. Platt, who is our special counsel this year, and he said he had some ideas on ways that we could limit that, as Willingboro is shouldering a disproportionate share of group homes in the area. I'd like to ask for council support to engage the Platt Group on investigating how we would be able to move forward or limit the number of group homes in the area.
I support that.
I support it.
Excellent. All right, thank you, council, for your support on that. And
May I ask a question? Oh,
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
I had a question on that. Could he also, I don't know if he would be the right professional, but I know that we get inundated with requests for convenience stores. Yes, I'll leave it at convenience stores. And just curious if there was a way to really consider how many and how far apart. There's a consideration for yet another one that's come in. So if he could, I don't know if he would be the right professional that could look at that as well.
okay, I will ask.
Thank you.
I wanted to go back to the group home question.
Mhm.
As he's looking at this, is there any way we can limit the number of group home on any one given block?
Okay.
Because some blocks have 2 and 3. So
Mhm.
I don't, yeah. So is there any way we can look at that?
Okay, I think that's a good call out, Councilman Anderson. I will add that to the discussion. Councilwoman McIntosh.
Just to piggyback back off of Dr. Worthing, the convenience store, also the smoke shop. We're trying to get a lot of those.
And they kind of blend them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The new one coming up there by McDonald's.
Mhm. Okay, I will add those all into the discussion with Mr. Platt. Any other new business? Being none, we will move on to public comment. This public comment is for all issues. Public comment is 4 minutes. If you would like to speak a public comment, please raise your hand online or come up to the microphone in the room. Again, you'll have 4 minutes. Please state your name and address for the record. Public comment is now open.
Maddie Mallory.
Good evening, Ms. Mallory.
Good evening, Maddie Mallory, Hudson Place. I don't know if it's me or what, but I have difficulty hearing council members when they speak, and also Mr. Harris. So I don't know if it's the microphones or if it's my computer. But it's, very difficult to hear them. I tuned in late, so I'm not sure. There was a discussion about the calendars, but I thought we were supposed to get the calendars mid-February. So just anxious to know. And the other thing is, it's unfortunate that the school board meeting is tomorrow because tomorrow is Ash Wednesday. And some of us do recognize Ash Wednesday and we have services. So I think it's unfortunate that they did not plan their final meeting with that in mind. Because, I, for one, was one of the persons that would have liked to have attended, but I won't be able to because of my commitment to Ash Wednesday. And that concludes my comments for this evening.
Thank you, Ms. Mallory. We have one in the room.
Good evening, Ashley Knox, Twig Lane. I'm here because I'm having a tree issue in my backyard. 2 weeks ago, believe President's Day, the major windstorm on Sunday. To give a visual, where my house is, there's about maybe 10 massive pine trees that line the side of my street. One of the massive pine trees fell, barely missed my house and barely missed my neighbor's $10,000 PVC fence. So where the tree is, there is a berm. in the back of my house. Usually the township puts the berm in to prevent flooding from the houses that are behind me that are lower elevation. Went to inspections department about 2 weeks ago. I will say that they were very efficient. They came out, they looked at it. They were honest. They said, we're not tree experts. We don't know whether this is our property, our easement, or the township's property. When they looked at the tax maps, it's not showing the berm at all. I emailed Mr. Harris, Mr. Chapman, Mr. Tunsil. Mr. Harris and Mr. Chapman did get back to me. They said that it's my responsibility. I kind of have to respectfully disagree with that at that point, because in speaking with WMUA Chair, Ms. Lindsay Harvey, and former Mayor Knock, they said that that should be a township easement because of the berm. And I also have a utility box back there. We don't know whether it's an electrical box or whether it's a cable box, but whatever that box is, it's a huge box, which means it's a trunk line, which feeds my entire neighborhood. I have the number of the box if you want that. You guys want the number of the box?
Sure.
Okay. Number of the box. Let's see. So the number of the box is 3133. So I'm saying that it could be the township because of where it's located. And also the WMUA said there's a high possibility that the sewer line is in that berm also, because my sewer line is in the back of the house and not the front. So right now the tree is laying in my backyard. It looks like a forest back there. It's massive. And then the tree next to it, it's holding on for dear life. You can see it from the street where it's going to fall with the next wind gust. If it falls, it's hitting my house and the fence. So I'm just asking if we can do a deeper dive into this, since it's not showing on the tax map, to figure out whose actual responsibility it is to remove the tree that has fell and the one that's dangerously leaning.
Thank you, Ms. Knox.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Jamal X Harris, 10 Paddock Lane. I'm on this side of Pennypacker and the LEDs are great. Thank you. And also, right, massive track and field legacy in Willingboro. In the track and field world, my wife and I were D1 track and field athletes. So the brand of Willingboro in the track and field world is elite track athletes. So just wanted to put that on the record. Also, some cats like the gang in Tom and Jerry, about 3 of them, recently set up shop on my block. Wanted to call that out as well. I've been a homeowner for about 4.5 years in Willingboro, 3rd generation Willingboro resident, paternal side. Drawn back to Willingboro because of its proud history, its diverse neighbors, and abundant potential. Just this year, I got involved with the Economic Development Committee as a business. I'll be sworn in tonight. Thanks, Samantha. I dialed in through Google Meet to the most recent Economic Development Committee meeting driving back from the Midwest this past Monday. And I just wanted to say what stood out was the amount of energy, the amount of collective intellectual horsepower, and the self-awareness and the historical context that the group has put together. They sent out some great documents, and I've been trying to cram all of that information, but just the idea of knowing that we need to get better data-driven insights in order to inform the council was a big part of the conversation. Given I have a background in operations, management, and tech, good data leads to good insights, which leads to great actions. So I'm just really happy to be involved with the committee. Working hand in hand with the committee, we want to chart a path, of course, that brings in new business without forgetting the local ones that have stood by us for years. Over there in Eastgate Plaza, there's a pizza shop that my father, he's lived in Willingboro since the 80s. He maintains that it is the best pizza in New Jersey, right? And they just say, yup, they're bearing witness. So we don't want to forget about the folks that have created great memories and added great value to the community along the way. while we try to attract better, more business and more resources, advocate for our families, and really just focus on what truly matters, which is safe neighborhoods, quality jobs, a sense of togetherness, and of course, enabling dollars to circulate in this community. That's the key. So I'm excited. And I just wanted to stand up here today before I get sworn in after this meeting and say that I'm excited to be a part of the committee. And I just wanted to let the public know that there's folks with a lot of energy, a lot of expertise, folks that are involved with other municipalities that want to come in, bring some great ideas and some great best practices to the table so we can make a difference. I heard some great things about public-private partnerships. That's part of what I do in my business. I work with sort of venture capital folks that are very interested in finding great opportunities in municipalities and backing them. So I'm excited, and I wanted to let you all know you should be excited too. So thanks for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Harris.
My name is Barbara Williams. I'm from Rittenhouse Park, and I'm here to find out, and I'm glad he brought up his cats that are in his neighborhood. Last month, you had friends who offered to help with the cat situation. I'm wondering what your reply was to them, because it is a very good group. They have been successful, and it's not just friends, it's other rescues that do TNR, where they trap, neuter, and return them back to the community. They do spading and neutering. They also give them rabies shots. They also put them up for adoptions if they're friendly. And the cats also help to control, and there has been issues with rats here in Willingboro. So they're beneficial to us. They're not just pains, they're very helpful. And I would like to know if you're accepting. Yes, they are. They're very helpful. I would like to know if you're accepting their offer to come in, because they said it would be no cost to Willingboro. They have grants for that. And another issue I'd like to address are recycling bins in Willingboro. You have elderly people who cannot handle those huge recycling. They ask for the smaller ones. Those smaller ones are available. I've seen them there in Willingboro to some of the residents. And if you're a single person, you don't need the large one. If you're a couple, you don't need the large one. There's an elderly lady who lives at 70 Rittenhouse Drive. She's almost fallen trying to get that huge recycling and the huge trash, because she keeps it inside her house and she tries to wheel it out. So I know that when I first got involved in this a year ago in February, I was told by the recycling director herself that the smaller recycling bins were available. And I want to know why some people can get them and others cannot. It's our tax dollars. We're paying for it. We should be able to get what we want. Also regarding that same lady, and maybe you can help her with this issue, she's handicapped. She needs handicap parking given to her. She's addressed it to the association and nothing has been done. So can you do something to help her? And it's not just her, it's other seniors who are having problems with needing a handicap spot. So if you can address those issues, and again, if you can let me know what's going on with, because there were other people after the Friends spokesperson stood up and mentioned that they wanted to come in and offer their assistance. Other people wanted to speak on that, but you didn't give them a chance because they had already spoke. Like I said, it's very beneficial. You can speak with other township, how it's reducing the population. And again, the cats are very helpful. They control the rat population. And with all the development that's been done, the rats are out. I'm a witness to that because tree was pulled down next to me that was causing water damage in my house. And the contractor found that there were lots of rats and
Ma'am.
mice in the roots of
Ma'am,
these
your
trees.
time is up. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams.
Good evening. My name is Esther Turner. I'm at 3 Woodhaven Lane.
Good evening, Ms.
Honorable-
Turner.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and esteemed council. I'm here just as a follow-up with the last meeting. I had talked about my situation with the sewer line, and it extending to other neighbors' properties, and the issue that we have with the township, with the MUA indicating that it is my responsibility to take care of a very excessive cost. And I stand firm with the fact that it is not my responsibility as a homeowner. So I'm not going to rehash everything that we talked about the last time because I know it's on record. And I also gave a letter to the township manager, and I believe the clerk also made a copy of that. First of all, I want to thank the council so much for their compassion and for their empathy in terms of what we're faced with. It was really very heartwarming to have you all, come to me and to sort of, just give some comfort there. I did reach out to Mr. Mackey. I was told to do that, the executive director of the MUA. Very kind man, very nice man, and there really has not been any movement in this area. I mean, he just basically is reiterating the fact that it is the homeowner's responsibility. The conversations and discussions are ongoing. So I just wanted to bring everything to the council's attention since I brought it to your attention the last time as a follow-up, just to let you know what's happening. I will continue to pursue this. I feel like this is not just my problem, it is also, I'm a voice for the residents of this community because we do have a major issue with this. And I would like to say that the home serve policy that I believe was initiated by our former mayor, Martin Knock, is really a good policy for everyone to have because ultimately at some point, we all may face this situation. So it's good to make our residents aware. Again, I know that the township manager mentioned that he may have something in the bulletins to make our residents aware, but I wanted to have that voice also because the situation is happening to me. And it could be happening to others as well, but they don't know how to speak out, or maybe they're too afraid to speak out. So again, I want to thank you for your attention to this matter. I will continue to give you updates as they come. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Turner.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, Town Council, and this wonderful, energetic public. Looking good, I see you. I'm excited to be here too. Thank you, Mr. Harris, just the excitement is with me also. And that's what Willingboro is all about.
Your name and address, please.
This is Dr. Denise King at 135 Torrington Lane here in Borough. As a resident and a elected school board member, I encourage our residents to learn more about the district, the school district board referendum, which is coming in. Thank you, Township Clerk, for announcing that. The vote is coming on March 11th. We need your vote. We need your voice because I know and everyone knows your voice and your vote, they matter. No matter what the situation is, it does matter for you to participate in the voting process. There's a town hall tomorrow at the high school, but we have had several town hall meetings. If you are unable to attend any of them, feel free to go onto the web page at Willingboro Township School District, and you'll see the virtual presentation that they have. You can ask questions, please ask questions. Go email, call. As I said and other board members said, we're available to hear your questions. We want the questions so we can answer any of your concerns regarding the upcoming vote. March 11th vote at your polling place. Thank you for announcing the polling places also. I want you to know that I personally submitted my ballot already, of course, because I mail by ballot. And my questions for 1 and 2 was yes. You asked me, why did I vote yes for questions 1 and 2? 1, because we need to repair our roofs. No one would live in a home where roofs are damaged and not safe for the students or staff there. I had the opportunity, of course, as the board member and others have toured the schools. So this is something that is occurring. And for question number 2, supporting the sports athletic complex. I voted yes for that also, because I know the importance of not only having that in our community, where our dollars stay in our community, to provide revenue for our students for continued sustainable success, not only the athletes, but also for scholars. It's an academic progression that we want to continue to have in our community. Many of you know that my granddaughter participates in the Willingboro Recreation Cheerleading Competition, and I'm so excited because they won a couple of weeks ago, as you know. Go Borough, yes. Clap that up because that's important. I was there before I came here tonight, helping them with their next practice. They have a meet on Saturday. They won first place in the grand championship, which means they do what? They continue to win, and they have a positive impact on Willingboro. When we go out to meet things like, oh my goodness, this is Willingboro Township. Yes, this is what Willingboro Township scholars and students look like. Excellence. We exude excellence because we provide them the training and the needed coaching that they provide for these meets. So thank you for supporting them. As I know you always do. We appreciate that. But I want to tell you, when I go to these meets, thousands of people are there. Now we get in at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we're just the first section. We leave about 2, 3 o'clock, and there's another section coming in. So thousands come. So they generate money because we have to pay $25 to $35 to get in. And then the snack stand, can I say, is around the corner. You're going to generate money from the sports complex in this district if we vote yes on March 11th. Please provide your voice and your vote to vote yes. Well, shout out to, of course, the Youth Stars, and a dime is not only for the cheerleaders, but for track stars. What are you, D1?
Dr. King, your time's up.
I'm excited, as you can see. Don't forget to vote. Thank you so much for your time.
And I see there's one more online.
Carmen.
Hi, thank you again for the opportunity to address you tonight. I'm at Country Club, and I have a couple of items. It's one of my few meetings that I'm able to attend, so I'm excited about this. The first is a question/comment, and that's regarding the possibility of the township to create a fund where excess money can be invested to grow in a fund to be used for projects like improving our community, improving the parks, and just use the money in overall growth, helping with grants for our seniors or the people who are not able to afford the high cost of repairs, such as the sewer line, as we heard earlier. Additionally, this money could be used for projects like creating sport. I'm sorry, I'm hearing an echo. The sport complex, this would be a huge expense to the taxpayers, and majority of people are not ready to foot that bill. Not only that, there are areas in the education system that need to be repaired and updated. On top of the fact that the budget for the Willingboro schools was about $55 million, which was the highest, or one of the highest in the state of New Jersey. So again, the first point is to create an investment fund with some of the money that can be used to invest and have a higher return with money that can be used for projects in the community. Secondly, and this is a conversation that I've had with some of you in the past at different community events, and that includes the the process of replanting fruit trees or trees in the community, as we have seen in the past 2 decades since I lived here, we see the trees are being damaged. PSENG is trimming down, and I don't think they're doing it correctly, but the trees are drying up. They are weak trees, the pine trees with the storm, they're older. They're not benefiting us in any way. We really need to look into a project, and I heard that there was something on the table where a tree expert would come, analyze the area to find out what can be replanted so Willingboro can stay green for our benefit and for the soil's benefit. So these are my 2 main hot topics at the moment. I do have a concern about the proposed increased budget. An estimate will tell you one number, but at the end of that project, we all know that number will be much higher. And again, in this day and time, our community, the people in the community everywhere are struggling, and another addition to the tax bill is not going to be easy to get through. So thank you for your time today, and hopefully you can consider these ideas and suggestions.
Thank you, Carmen. Seeing no further public comment is now closed. All right. Mr. Harris, Ms. Mallory asked about an update on the calendars.
So I believe the calendars are at the printer and will be in the mail shortly.
All right. And also, Ms. Mallory, I'm sorry that you're having trouble hearing us. We will ensure that we are speaking directly into the microphone so that it will lessen that interruption. Ms. Knock had a question about the tree situation that she's experiencing and the request for removal for the tree.
Yes, so as Ms. Knock accurately stated, that we did look into that matter, and there are no easements behind her particular property. So, but we will do a deeper dive and look into it and see if there are utility easements. And if so, those easements may have been granted to the utility company, which still absolves Willingboro from the obligation. But we'll do a deeper dive.
Okay. And if they do fall on the utility easement, then the utility companies will be responsible for that, correct?
Correct.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Harris, for your comments. We have, and to address also Ms. Williams' question about the trap and release program for the cats in town. We are reaching out to the Burlington County shelter system to work with them to get that program in place so that we can address the cat situation in town. So thank you for bringing that back to the forefront, and we will work on that. And welcome to the Economic Development Committee, Mr. Harris. We appreciate your energy and your positive outlook on what this township can be. Also, Ms. Williams had a question about the smaller recycling bins and handicap parking for Rittenhouse.
So we have had this conversation many times over, and we are willing to provide any resident in Rittenhouse that requests a smaller cart, and we have provided those residents with smaller carts.
Okay. Well, she mentioned one resident at 70 Rittenhouse Drive. Would you be able to work with that resident there to get them a smaller recycling bin? Tomorrow, please. As soon as possible,
Yes.
Mr. Chapman. Not a direction.
Yeah, he's behind the podium, so I can't see him.
Thank you. And anything about handicap parking?
So, the parking at the Rittenhouse is part of the association. And I don't know that we can go in and designate handicap parking spaces on their properties. But a resident that needs a handicap parking could apply for a placard through the police department. But there would need to be some consensus with the property to allow reserved handicap parking by permit. So the placement of a sign. But again, I don't believe that we can go ahead and do that on our own. But that's a question that our esteemed legal counsel could answer or advise us on as well.
Okay. And I think there may be an ordinance about handicap parking on residential streets. So if you would look more into that and get back to Ms. Williams, that would be helpful. Ms.
Residential streets are different than private property.
Then,
So, right.
Okay.
But yes, we'll look into it, Mayor.
okay, thank you. Ms. Turner, thank you for the update on your sewer line issue. I'm glad that you were able to talk to Mr. Mackey, and please, continue to work with them. Also, because of your letter and expressing your concerns here at the meeting, the sewer line policy was redistributed, or the notification was notified or posted in our Willingboro Weekly after the last meeting, so that residents are getting another reminder to have that very helpful policy in the event of a sewer line failure. Dr. King, thank you for the reminder of the school board election bond referendum question that is coming up on March 11th. I think it is a very pressing issue that will affect not just the students, but everyone in the township. So if you have not done so, please find out more information, as well as if you are able to attend the final town hall that will be held at Willingboro High School tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Also, congratulations to the cheerleaders on their win. We are very proud of our youth when they do something great. So congratulations to the competition cheerleading team. And finally, we have Carmen. So Carmen, we do put money aside for projects that are going to have a large capital investment here in the township. Also, if you've attended any of the town halls for the school board, they also noted that they have also started a fund to put away monies for some of those larger projects in the future. Also, Mr. Harris, did you have any update or any comments on the replanting of trees that are being cut down, either due to PSE&G or loss to storm events?
I don't really, but these are conversations that we are beginning to re-engage in with the Environmental Commission and the Green Team about keeping Willingboro green and planted. As you know, over the last 2 years, we have received 20 trees from the county, which we have replanted in various locations throughout the township. Some of those thrived, some of those did not. But we are continuing to always investigate opportunities to replant and protect our environment through the inclusion of greenery and green space.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Harris. And finally, her final comment was about a proposed increased budget. The council has not introduced the budget for next year yet. We should be doing that at the March 18th meeting. But at the moment, I don't think we're looking at any increases. So I encourage you to attend that meeting to see the budget or the introduced budget for the township. If you were referring to the school board increase, that would be a question for the school board. As they noted, the town hall is tomorrow, and also the school board meetings are on Zoom and happening in person. And what are those dates? The school board meetings? On the second and fourth Mondays of the month. So I encourage you to attend those meetings as well. Anything I missed, council? Dr. Worthy?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, just adding on to what Carmen said about the replanting. She was really interested in replanting of fruit trees, to see if that could be added instead of just the, whatever we're getting that doesn't bear fruit that can be consumed. So just wanted to add that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Worthy. Good call out. Thank you. Any other comments? All right, being none. Council comments. Any council comments for this evening? Councilwoman Perron.
Just one. I wanted just to bring a refresher reminder, because when Mr. Harris spoke about the economic development a few months ago, well, last year, now it's last year. Remember I spoke about looking into marketing our vacant properties, and the person who spoke on that committee stated that they needed money for their budget to do so. So just wanted to put that on the table as far as that committee looking to request what it looks like as far as finances to market, to do more marketing for our vacant properties. That's all.
Thank you, Councilwoman Perron. And yes, the Economic Development Committee is working on that, as well as the township did put out an RFP for a community development manager that would help with the marketing of vacant properties, as well as economic development initiatives in the town.
Okay, thank you.
Any other council comment?
Yes, just want to thank everybody for coming out. Want to congratulate Mr. Tunstall once again for raising the bar within his department, as Mr. Harris reported. And as Dr. King mentioned and others, be mindful, Tuesday, March 11th is a special election. Understand what's being asked. There are two questions. Please understand what's being asked. No matter how you answer, just understand it. Because as it may be a beautiful edifice being built for a handful of children in this community and a majority of folks outside the community, what I don't want to see is this edifice. Meanwhile, we have blighted homes. Because if you vote for one and not the other, no matter how it goes, there's going to be an increase to your taxes. So just be mindful. I know many residents, senior residents, are on a fixed income. We have the reevaluations coming up. We don't know who's going to be affected, who's not going to be affected. We have these tariffs coming up where Mexico's about to implement this, which means food and everything else is going up. So please be mindful. I understand what the goal is, but sometimes timing is everything. Timing is everything. So while this edifice may attract others from other communities, you don't want them coming to this edifice to a blighted community. We've been through our phases where we had abandoned homes. Folks just up in the middle of the night and just left. So all I'm saying, I can't tell you how to vote, but all I'm saying is be mindful of what you're voting for. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Anderson. Councilwoman McIntosh?
I don't have anything tonight, but thank you for everyone coming out. Have a great night.
Deputy Mayor Worthy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First, I wanted to say congratulations to the winners. There was an award function sponsored by the Zetas, and it was a wonderful event out at the Westin. So congratulations to all, and to ATAP in particular for winning Service Organization of the Year, representing Willingboro very well. Also wanted to say I really enjoyed the Black History Month event that was put on by the township. Thank you very much for the committee that put that together. A special thanks to Ms. Jackson and to Mr. Bobby Duckett. It was a great display of talent throughout the town, a sense of camaraderie, I heard the food was good, but I didn't get a plate because I was performing. Oh, Mr. Harris seconds the motion. Okay, it was okay. And nobody saved me anyway. That's all right. It was a wonderful event. It was hosted by Dr. Stephanie Harris, who is the Director of Africana Studies at Miss Jackson was at Seton Hall. She was from Seton Hall. She did a wonderful job providing context throughout the evening. It was just a really nice time to come together to celebrate Black History Month, and I'm looking forward to it next year, the last Thursday of the month, February 2026. I already put it in my calendar, so thank you for that. Wanted to say congratulations to our newest county commissioner, Randy Brolo from Willingboro, currently lives in Lumberton. He was sworn in on Saturday, so we're really excited about our new county commissioner and all that he endeavors to do. Another reminder, tomorrow's the town hall for the school districts at 6:30 at Willingboro High School. The vote is on March 11th, all day. Polling locations, we've talked about that. And then the school board has a special meeting for their budget. Their budget meeting is March 17th at 6 p.m. So it's a great opportunity to come out to hear what it is that they're endeavoring to do, how money will be used, if they plan on increasing taxes beyond the referendum. Ask questions, get involved. They're going to have a series of budget meetings, just like we do in the township. I know often the two entities get conflated, the school district and the township. While we work together, we are two different elected bodies. And so we serve Willingboro, but how we go about doing our business is a little bit different. So I would encourage you to please go out to March 17th at 6 p.m. school board budget meetings. Now, they only give you 3 minutes, and they real clear about their 3 minutes. So please have your comments ready, and you cannot participate in their meetings online. You can view online, but you cannot make comments online. So if you'd like to be heard, please go out to the school board meeting, the budget meeting. That's all I have. One more thing. Ramadan Mubarak. We have a large population of Muslims in Willingboro, 3 mosques and counting. And I'm really hopeful that you all have a peaceful, healthy, prosperous Ramadan, and see you on the other side. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Dr. Worthy. All right. I did want to say, just echo Dr. Worthy's sentiments on the Black History Month program. It really was a wonderful display of the talent that we have here in Willingboro. And I encourage everyone to participate in not only our Black History Month programs, but all of the programs that we do throughout the year. Our recreation and administration is always hard at work planning different events for the community to be engaged in, to engage our youth, our seniors, and everyone that lives here in different ways. So please check out the calendars and make sure that you are up to date. Subscribe on the app and to the Willingboro Weekly so that you can stay up to date on what's going on in town. Also, for our council members, I do want you to just take a look at your calendars for open dates in April. At our March 18th meeting, we should be getting the introduction of the budget, and we will need to do some budget hearings. So please check your calendars in advance during the month of April for free days so that we can get those budget hearings scheduled. Also, I do want to just another reminder, March 11th is the bond referendum vote. Please go out, and the final town hall is tomorrow at Willingboro High School, 6:30 p.m. To get your final questions answered and hear the presentation. Also, you can view that presentation online through the school board website. The Phenomenal Woman nominations are currently still open, and they close March 12th. So if there are any phenomenal women that you know in the township or in your lives that you would like to see honored at our event this year, please make sure you get those nominations in. And then finally, well, two-part finally, happy Women's History Month. I just want to acknowledge and thank the women, the strong, powerful women that I serve with here on council every day, and also, and that too, but not this month. And And also the women that serve on the other boards in our township, on the school board and on the MUA. We really are working hard, and you can see the influence of women all through Willingboro Township. So thank you to the phenomenal women all through our township. And finally, Ramadan Mubarak to our Muslim community. Have a very peaceful Ramadan. And that concludes my comments for tonight. We will move to adjourn.
Can I get a motion and second to adjourn?
So moved.
It's been moved by Councilwoman Perone, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh.
We'll go with it.
Okay.
All in favor? All in favor?